So here in my Guardian, this is the next phase. This is where we take over all the Centaur camps in the Harathi hinterlands. What's coming up is going to be a little miserable for me. We got to enter the camps through this narrow little entrance, and if you've seen some of my other videos, you know I hate eating a knockdown. And in this area, the camera isn't really. It's a little tough to get your camera in a good position. What happens is something comes from off camera, and eventually will knock me down. I'll dodge a lot of them, but one of them will probably get me. And then we have the catapults, which is another thing. So you're in this tight little area, you start getting rushed by enemies, and the catapults are raining down on you that you got to avoid. And eventually you'll see more enemies are going to come rushing in from up ahead, and no doubt one of them is going to get me. Like I dodged her stuff there, but that's not going to last. That's not going to last. I know I'm going to get caught by one that's going to come from behind to the side, somewhere I don't see, and it'll irritate me. It won't really hurt me. It's not a big deal, but it's my pet peeve. All right, I'm trying to get rid of these ads too. I don't want to make the mistake of focusing on the high health enemy and letting the lower health ones just have free reign to do damage to us. They can be more dangerous than the high health enemies often. So this catapult's out, and there it goes. I didn't see that one come in, and I ate and knocked down. So yes, I'm irritated. There it goes. I dodged her stuff, and I dodged a catapult. Catapults are very worth taking out because they really make a mess, especially for melee. If you're a melee fighter, if you're using a melee weapon, you got to be close to the enemy. So then they put a catapult on you, and you got to run away and not do damage, or you stand there and you take the hit. So we got a catapult up here I want to take out, but usually people ignore them. I don't know why. They just run ahead, take out these ads. So if you just run past these ads and just keep going ahead, they just chase you, and then you're surrounded. You got enemies behind you and enemies coming from the front of you. Oops, another catapult. And it's kind of a mistake. It's a good idea to take out ads. And the Necromancer that was here is just running by everything. He ran by 2 catapults and let him go. Usually happens. This Elementalist, yeah, okay, she kind of knows what it's about. She's helping take out these catapults and enemies here. You see these green numbers going up? That's the health regeneration that I share with anyone who's nearby me. And they ignored, of course, like I said, he ignored that catapult, but I'm not. I'm going to take that thing out with my greatsword. Stick with my greatsword for a bit. I'm going to help out this Elementalist. They're very fragile. Don't mind her getting down. They can get down very easily. Okay, back to some more staff. Things get crazier as we go further in here. This is really fun. This is really fun. Dodge her crap. I kind of wish there wasn't a cooldown on weapon swap. I'd love to swap between weapons faster, but that's not the way it is. So, one thing I had mentioned previously, let's see, they're going to, don't ignore the ad. It's going to just slow down everyone else. It's going to just chase everybody. So let me kill this ad here. Got a point to capture up ahead before we can proceed. One thing I don't like, I mentioned before, I don't like Heart of Thorns. Heart of Thorns is full of nonsense, to me. Maybe that's a little too harsh to say. If people like it, great. Have fun and do it. Heart of Thorns, the expansion, I don't like, because it's full of mini-games that are absolutely essential. Mini-games are usually an optional thing in gaming. You must learn how to mushroom jump and glide and dive and all sorts of other extraneous crap. To me, it's extraneous crap. I want to play my class. You cannot even travel the map in Heart of Thorns without doing these mini-games, and I really detest the expansion. So much so that I don't like what they did with the thief profession in this game. So Heart of Thorns introduced elite specs, and the only elite spec I got is the Daredevil, which is the elite for the thief. And the Daredevil I think is really cool. I like it a lot. But I find Heart of Thorns to be so tedious and boring and miserable that I have absolutely no desire to take another character through that at all, and I won't. And really, I mean, it's up to the individual. If that's your taste, you may really love it and have fun. But I found it to be a truly terrible expansion. Worst expansion I've ever seen in a game, personally, and I've been playing games since the 70s. But that's my taste. Okay, let's hope everyone focuses on getting these ads taken care of. We got our first champion here. Okay, everyone's doing good. So we both have to capture this point and kill this champion and get a nice loot bag. Really fun event chain, like I said. There's a lot of champions involved in this. This part only happens if the centaurs, the enemies here, take over all the camps, and then you have to retake them. Very often, you start at this point and just take their main camp, which I do a lot. But every once in a while, there's not enough players. They take over all the camps in the Rocky Hinterlands, and then we've got to go back. And let's see, I've been using my great sword here a lot. I really am surprised with the Guardian, because he's a heavy armor doesn't mean a whole lot. I mean, it does if you don't have it. I mean, if you're light health pool and light armor like the Elementalist, man, you want heavy armor sometimes. But the Guardian has the lowest health pool, like the Elementalist and Thief and Daredevil. Who does have a heavy armor, but I'll tell you, it doesn't help with everything, because there's conditions, and they eat through low health pools very fast. And I'm surprised that the Guardian really is pretty damn strong. It's a little hard to see here. If you notice, sometimes these boss fights can illustrate what I mean when I say I have a little bit of a hard time in Guild Wars 2 reading the enemy animations. There's no cast bars on enemies in this game, so you have to. The interface doesn't tell you anything. You have to read their animations to know what they're doing, and I have a little bit of a problem with that in this game. So sometimes, like I said, sometimes I'll need a knockdown or something because I just don't see the animation. And these boss fights kind of illustrate it. You can see all the effects going on, which kind of complicate things, but it looks really cool. I mean, it's a really beautiful game. So now we're off to the next camp. Let's see if we can avoid all these guys here. Someone gave me a speed buff. I do have this brief little speed buff on my staff here, but it's only lasts a little, it doesn't last that long, and then the ability has a cooldown. But we got to try to run through here, dodge her crap there, and we've got another camp to take over here. This could be quite a mess. There's a lot of enemies here and another champion to fight. And this is kind of what I don't like. People bypass all these ads. So what happens is you run into the camp. You've got all the ads in the camp, but you got everything else that everyone pulled in here. And I kind of pulled one in too, because I ran past everything. But okay, all right, we got to start taking care of these ads. We got a champion here, and he can hit hard. But if we don't take care of these ads, there's going to be a lot of down players. A lot of down players. Okay. I still want to stick with my staff here because I want the AoE to help me get rid of the ads that are here before we go and start dealing with this champion. Geez, there's still more. I'm not the kind to leave someone to deal with the ads and focus on the champ. I just can't do that. Okay. Great sword again. So over here you can see what I mean. It's pretty hard to see what the hell's going on, so it can be very difficult to evade every single attack. I mean, there's people claim, "Oh, it's so easy. I never miss a dodge." Please get out of here. There's a lot of circumstances where it's extremely difficult to see what's going on. I just kind of can't buy it. It just seems like empty braggadocio to me. So my little guardian's hanging in there, okay. And down. Okay, so now we should have this. Blue circle should disappear. We should have this, and then it's on to Kingsgate, the final stronghold of the Centaurs in the Rothi Hinterland. My favorite event chain. Unless another enemy runs in here, this blue circle will evaporate and we will have won the point. We will have captured the camp. But I can't imagine there's going to be any more. Not at this point. There it is. Okay, so I'll cut this off here, and I will pick up the video in Kingsgate in their stronghold.